the technical difficulties we had to deal with there. Welcome back to the South African AOC flying shotgun Valorant Qualifiers. Sorry, I'm completely flustered after that break now, but we should be good to head back into this map. X-Contra versus Rise Orange. Now, X-Contra coming off of a massive heater. We'll have to see if they can calm down a bit now, refocus up for their map again, or for their match against Rise Orange. This is the second match of the lower bracket, so it will be a best of 3. Authorize, take us through the map picks and bans.
So yeah, we do have a list of picks and bans at the moment. It will be starting off with Rise Orange. They will be banning out Split. They don't want to see that. They don't want to fight that. Nightmare then, sorry, not Nightmare, but Nightmare did it. But X-Contra replying with a ban on Breeze, which is interesting to see because we just saw X-Contra kind of dominate on Breeze. I think, they still don't want to see that though. So our first map will be Ascent, picked through by Rise Orange, and X-Contra have decided on they want to defend on that first. Being our first map, we'll go through that one at the now then, with the rest of the maps. Then quickly going through, it'll be our next map will be Icebox. And then I think we'll leave it there for now because we are going into game at the moment. So talking about agent selects on Ascent, run us through that. Based on Ascent, is this normal?
Well, it does look like the Yoru is going to be coming out from Rise. If they do decide to go with that agent, I will be very surprised. Haven't seen a lot of Yoru, and that will be a triple duelist comp coming out from the side of Rise this time around then. But no, it looks like Verbal's just yanking our chain and will be going towards that Killjoy now. And yeah, very interesting stuff from Rise here. It does seem pretty standard though. That Astra, Hex on that Astra, going to be very useful. The Astra utility on Ascent is very powerful. Having all those stars to utilize Astra, just a very versatile controller. Probably the best in the game in my opinion at the moment. And very good on Ascent specifically. The Sova, pretty standard coming out from Ronro here. Sova very powerful on Ascent, but actually surprised not to see a Sova on the side of X-Contra here. Sova is generally a standard pick. Like, you can play Ascent and you might have a Sova every single time. So X-Contra going for a bit of a different strategy here, deciding to go for the 2 duelists and then Sky in the single initiator role. Not something you see very often, but I'm sure they've practiced this composition many a times and are ready. Maybe this is their counter setup to a Sova composition, right? So we'll have to see how X-Contra answers to this, but pretty standard stuff coming out so far. Brimstone is not that much of a surprise on Ascent. Very good agent. Those 3 smokes definitely going to provide some sort of advantage, but the Astra, I feel, still has the advantage on this map. But we'll have to see what X-Contra can do to bring this one home.
Talk about... Oh! Alright.
Wow. Early aggression coming out from X-Contra here into B main, managing to pick one up, but they do get traded out by Ronro. They're not gonna let his teammate die in vain. So now, after that surprising early aggression that was almost instant, we see the players maybe go for a bit of a reset here. But look at Timmy on this Brimstone, already such an aggressive position into this middle area. He must be careful not to give his position away now, but might have heard the rotations coming back to B now. But it looks like Rise are very cautious and do potentially expect a player to be in this position. But the players of X-Contra have rotated off now, and now we have Lumo taking first contact in this B position. Is going to get the info, but is going to drop back so that his teammates can potentially come back to his aid. Going to take that first contact, will go down to Verbal 0, ultimately finishing him off. And this is Rise with side control now.
Yeah, and before they so rudely interrupted me by, making contact, I'm going to say, mid is such an important place to hold. But this is going to be an interesting retake here from X-Contra. They have the ability to do it, but it's a lot of bodies on the actual site. Gonna throw...
Nice little entry coming out from Timmy there. Will manage to get the first as Nightmare crunches as well, managing to get one of his own. And oh my word, X-Contra just flooding the site, not losing a single member on that retake. Will finally take them down. Flawless retake there from the side of X-Contra. Obviously not flawless round, but brilliant retake coming out from them off the back of those sky flashes. Those guiding lights obviously extremely powerful on this map as the sites are so open. So great stuff coming through from X-Contra there.
Yeah, I think this previous match they just played allowed them to warm up that kind of team synergy, and you saw it there. They pushed into point very they pushed into point very well coordinated, and it was, we knew what we had to do, we knew how we had to do it, and it was flawless in how they executed that retake. So that definitely shows the kind of caliber they are. Yeti doing a nice flash and peek. Yeah, nice pick and verbal, and that's a lot of utility down as Killjoy no longer has any, say in what happens now.
Yeah, great early pick coming out from Yeti there, shutting down this aggression towards this A site. Very well played. Generally, you will see teams playing a bit more passive, but Yeti just taking the fight to them, and Timmy and Nightmare initiating the meat grinder on A site, and Nightmare just gonna hold on to his site as this is Killjoy's home on Ascent, it seems. Nightmare managing to hold on to that side and not gonna give up too many weapons there, not losing too much economy in that second round. So great stuff coming out from X-Contra here.
Yeah, definitely doing well at just controlling that area, having that advantage and using it as best they can. Moving now into this kind of bonus round, we now hopefully will see, this is where Rise kind of turn it around. I mean, this is the best opportunity they should have to do it, and they've been showing a lot. While the scoreline may read 2-0, Rise have been doing really well at kind of having an answer. And remember, this is their warm-up game at the moment. They have not played yet today, so they will have to shake a little bit of that sleep off as they look forward. Nice pick coming through as Rise are one man down already.
Yeah,
Rise.
Rise opening up the map brilliantly with those picks in mid. Hazard pushing very aggressively now onto these final members of the side of X-Contra, but Lumo with this judge getting 2 for himself, but Hazard will spot him out on that stair area, bringing the man advantage back in favor of Rise now. And now it's a 2v3 retake. Rise have lost 2 members on this full buy round already though, so we'll have to see if Yeti and Nightmare can do this. But no, Hazard with an aggressive peek towards that towards that stairs area will take Nightmare down, and Hazard with a 4K onto the round after opening it up for his team. Gonna bring it home on this buy round, only losing 2 members, so not too bad.
Yeah, obviously the less you lose the better, and I think losing 2 there is acceptable. That means have the economy to kind of buy for each other and make sure that they are fully bought up as we now enter kind of the first full buy for both teams. Well, actually an operator coming through here from Lumo, trying to control this mid area, and as we've said, mid is such a vital spot that if you're able to control this and shut down anything, it's a big advantage for your team. So if this early pick can come through, it's going to be really big.
The sprays are coming out, but nothing really connecting, just with a couple of tags, but not too much value. But Yeti is going to get so much information off of that Trailblazer. Gonna spot almost all of the Rise members over towards this A side, and you can see the rotations already coming in from X-Contra here, recognizing that Rise is kind of trapped in this A side right now. Hazard's still trying to spray through there, maybe trying to get an edge, maybe a couple of denial shots for that operator. Don't want Lumo peeking aggressively, but Rise kind of flustered here after that Trailblazer spotted them out like that. You either need to pull the trigger at that point, or you need to really reevaluate your game plan for that round. But it does look like Rise will be heading over towards this B site now, and they will only have Williams here to cause some trouble. So we'll have to see. The drone does come out. They might just push off the back of that, but Williams with the late peek gets the timing onto Hazard, will manage to take him down, and that would give his team a man advantage in this retake now. Timmy throwing that molly to deny the closing of this market door. Very smart coming out from the Brimstone there as Lumo goes for an aggressive peek with this operator, trying to get a couple of shots off. Manages to connect one onto Ronro with the headshot as well, as X-Contras start to flood into the site. They have to clear the player in B main now, causing a lot of trouble, but Timmy will take him down, and X-Contra looking for a flawless as the Brimstone ultimate comes down, and X-Contra clean up that round. Flawless fourth round, first buy round for X-Contra. Great stuff coming out from him.
Yeah, and you say, you know, only Williams left, but Williams has proven that he's a one-man army when it comes to being solo on these sites. And in the previous match they played, it is very, very much, you know, Williams controlling sites, and we see it there, getting that nice pick that opens up a lot of the man advantage for them. And the rest of the team very quick to respond. And I think that's X-Contra do that really, really well. They're quick to respond to what's happening, and that is such a key aspect when it comes to Valorant. You know, how are you able to adapt to what the enemy team is doing? Nothing, you know, is set in stone. You can't strategize for everything that happens.
Yeah.
So it's very, very important that you be able to do that. But how's it gonna fall there with the Blaze-Storm use as well? That is what we call a waste in the books of anybody, and that's really unfortunate.
Oh, Luma with another aggressive peek towards this mid area, and Yeti also coming out. It looks like X-Contra love playing these anti-ecos so aggressively, taking that space in middle with four members actually running down that mid area. Rise will manage to pick up one player but can't manage to finish it off, and X-Contra looking like they're carrying that momentum from that first series. As you said, definitely helped with their confidence and definitely helped them synergize and warm up for the rest of this lower bracket. And Rise looking like they're struggling to find an answer against X-Contra here.
Yeah, I think this first map will be a lot of kind of just feeling around and seeing where they can exploit the weaknesses of X-Contra, and they've been doing well at it so far. I think, again, it's just X-Contra's aggression is so intense that you struggle to quickly respond to it, and that's where Rise seem to be finding this issue. They will be wrapping around now, beginning this rotation back through Spawn, and whether they commit to or not is still yet to be seen. But I think they saw the Killjoy utility on B, and we don't want to deal with that. Let's look at posturing towards this A position, maybe take a little bit of mid. But they will be avoiding mid at all costs. I think they expect the operator to be there, and Lumo is maybe gonna get a nice surprise for them over here.
Yeah, Rise trying to avoid those potential long-range sightlines, but Lumo holding the peak on here, gonna get flashed out. Potentially does get picked though, so we'll get one frag, trying to get a second.
30 seconds
Does
left.
manage to go down and get sprayed through those dice in the middle of sight, and that gives sight to Rise now. But unfortunately, Timmy was there to trade one more out, so it is a 2-for-2 now. It is a 2-for-2, but Williams picks up a third for his team, and now it's a 3v2 for Rise to try and defend the spike plant, as Ronro does go for that ultimate. Hex still holding on to health here, does get pushed by these players, but Ronro will take down Williams with the Hunter's Fury, and now it's Yeti and Ronro in a 1v1. Ronro has to stop this defuse, but it looks like Yeti's just gonna stick it. Ronro gets the tag, but Yeti will take the swing and will close it out for his team, and that's a 5th round. Rise looking like they had the answer there with the Killjoy ultimate, but X-Contra just knowing what to expect in that position and managing to halt them in their tracks right there.
Yeah, that was, again, really, really well done from both teams there. So we'll have a timeout here from Rise. I think they're just trying to collect themselves. A lot of these rounds, you know, go down to the absolute wire. with Rise just missing out. So I think this timeout is really, really important for them to kind of identify, where are we falling? Where are we exposing ourselves weakness-wise that ex-Contra just keep punishing us for? So I think that is going to be the very, very important part, is whether they can identify that and shut down, any weaknesses that they're exposing themselves to. And I think, yeah, these teams are very, very evenly matched. While the scoreline does read 5-1, a lot of these maps come out, really, really close. Obviously, ex-Contra do seem to be in the winning favor for a lot of them. I mean, most of them 5-1 at the moment. But I think Rise definitely have the ability here, if they're able to identify just exactly where they can push and, put pressure on, this can easily turn around, as we've seen so many times in the past.
Yeah, Rise just have to connect onto those opening frags. I'm wondering if they're going to expect this aggression to come out from ex-Contra, because they have done this 2 anti-ecos in a row now, taking these risky peeks towards mid, but because your opponents don't have that gun advantage, it is a bit more justified. But Lumo holding this peak, Verbal is going to jiggle it a bit and does manage to tag up Lumo on this catwalk side, actually. So Lumo is now half HP, might be looking for a heal from his Sky here, but Timmy will deny anything in tiles with that molly, and it looks like Rise are just huddling in B main for now, not really sure where they'd like to execute, but it does seem like it's gonna be a B, but Nightmare is set up and waiting for them on this B side with a lot of Killjoy utility to stop this aggression. Williams also here, the Astra Stars do come out as Williams tries to escape into Market but gets caught out by Hazard. Unfortunate there as Timmy takes the weapon away so that the members of Rise can't really pick that up, but Nightmare is still here holding onto the side, can't get the spray onto the second. Ronro taken down very low though, but won't go down this time around, and it's a 3v3 retake. I think ex-Contra now have one weapon at least on that side. They have the upgrade, but the Marshal's still in the backside on Ronro, but Timmy and Lumo each opening up with the frag on this retake now, and Tubes has to watch all the angles at once, and Lumo will just take him down with the knives. Actually using the knives on an anti-eco and not on an eco. Interesting stuff there from Lumo, but I think he just wanted a piece of the pie.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I'd call that a kind of win for Rise, actually. They forced out the blades, they got 2 picks, and, were able to get the spike down, which means that that's kind of a lot of money going in their bank, which gives them a lot more leeway moving forward. Although they took the loss, which definitely isn't what you want to do, I think in terms of just everything, they can't be too upset with how that round turned out. And now, yeah, Operator for Hazard. It's gonna be fun to watch this 1v1.
Yeah, sorry. That was definitely a good eco. Hazard going for the peak, but just missing by a millimeter. Still a lot of value for Rise there, but we'll have to see if they can answer back on this buy round. They do have rifles on all of their members right now, so we'll have to see if they can finally swing this in their favor. If they can get this round, they need one more round after this, I believe, to break the bank of ex-Contra. So it's definitely doable still for Rise. We see them taking a bit of a more passive approach to this round, so we'll have to see if they have an answer for this defensive side of ex-Contra just yet.
Come on, let's go!
Yeah, and if you just look at the space control by ex-Contra, it's crazy. They have mid, they have the entirety of A, they have B, and this rush with the run it back is going to be very important.
He almost didn't spot Williams there. Williams does manage to take out the run it back, but won't manage to take out any players. Timmy with a great swing onto Tubes there will answer back immediately, and now the Astra Cosmic Divide coming out from the side of Rise as Hazard picks one up onto Timmy as well. Great stuff from him. Now in a 3v4, the members of ex-Contra need to push through this, but Rise answer back with an aggressive push of their own into that lockdown and take down Lumo, as well as Yeti gets a spray onto 2. Yeti in a 1v4. Can he still clutch this out, but there's a player over on site and one in market. Not much he could do there as Hazard was holding the angle with that operator. Valiant attempt, gets to, but can't manage to finish it out. And that's exactly what Rise needed right now.
Yeah, and that's where, you know, this can all turn around, as we've said. Rise now have a very nice economy to kind of keep pushing this, even though the last people there, they have the ability to, you know, keep that pressure on. And if they win this is where it can be very, very detrimental for Ex-Contra. You know, while they may be so far ahead, economy doesn't always stay good. And this can be a very, very, as I say that, a very, very big turning point. But Luma's going to say no to Hazard and deny that operator mid.
Yeah, Luma just winning out on that operator battle, but it does look like a full A push coming out from Rise, but very little confidence in their A takes, it seems, right now. I don't know, they probably did get spotted out by the Trailblazer. It has been going A main every single round, but interesting now to try and push into this operator of Luma. They did try and smoke it off, but look at this aggressive positioning from Timmy. Tries to go for a couple of sprays, gets two members extremely low, but Ronro will manage to take him out for now. Ooh, Verbal Zero just a second late on that spray, otherwise might have gotten a dink onto Lumo there. But back to a 4v4 now, but look how aggressive Williams is being. In this B area, will spot one. Will dismiss out. Not gonna take that gunfight just yet, but Yeti swinging out for the crossfire and the refrag. Also picking one up for himself, and now looking towards A as Nightmare cleans up the final member of Rise. And they did win the previous round, but it really looks like they lack confidence in their A take, right? They are so hesitant on pulling the trigger towards that A side.
Yeah, I think they've just had, you can call it a rough experiences so far there. We'll be forced into the eco now as we see sheriffs galore. And I think this could be very, very, you know, we spoke about the last round where it was important that they win to kind of deny the economy. But now we're entering the 7-2, you know, territory, and this is their map pick, mind you. So, you know, this is where it gets really, really difficult. We're almost at that half-time point. So you want to be making sure that you now start to get these rounds in the bag. A full push mid with this eco is going to be very important.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah.
Oh my
Spike down mid.
Williams just shutting that down instantly before he finally gets traded out, and Timmy alongside his teammates will shut that one down. And a 4K coming out from Williams. Yes, they only had pistols, but Williams just holding down that left click and spraying down 4 players of Rise. That is a devastating round coming out from Ex-Contra, only losing 1 member to that eco. So definitely not what you want to be seeing if you're Rise here.
Yeah, I think Admiral Akbar just showed up and yelled, "It's a trap," as soon as Williams committed through. They kind of, yeah, you saw Ex-Contra kind of gave up mid, but they did it very strategically so that there wasn't any ability to kind of capitalize on the space given up. Luma getting a nice pick there with the operator on Hex, and this is now really, really struggling for Rise. They keep falling to the wayside early on. With the split push here, it does give them the opportunity to kind of control a lot of space, but you need to be winning these gunfights if you want to hold that.
Yeah, devastating shots coming out from Lumo here. Definitely getting the value out of this operator, showing why it's so extremely powerful on the side. Hazard maybe catching a glimpse, will manage to take him out there. The jet battles on this map, man, they're back and forth as Tube also finds one, but a brilliant flash from Yeti will take down 2, not expecting that Sky at all. And now Yeti just showing the value of Sky on this map right now, managing to take down 2 of the players and immediately swing the man advantage back, and Yeti gets a 4K. Ex-Contra are done with this map. They want to say GG, let's go next.
Round
they don't want to make this loss any longer than it has.
Yeah, and Ex-Contra showing that they definitely do not deserve to be in this loser's bracket. And you can't even say, like, obviously Yeti performing excellently there. Ex-Contra are performing well as a unit. It's all of them are shining. You know, we talked about Williams so much in the previous, you know, match. now Yeti's showing up really well, and it's just so hard to find just a single fault or weakness in the Contra. And I think that's where we're struggling. We said earlier that Rise need to find a weakness, but X-Contra is just not giving them anything to find.
Oh, great Brimstone ultimate coming through there from Timmy. Also spraying through the smoke as he does get tagged by that Sova drone, but Rise coming ahead on those trades after all of that chaos, and the 3 remaining members of X-Contra trying to push through this market area. Rise, this is a very important round for them to win. Yes, it will be a 9-3 half then, but every round counts right now. They need as much as they can get. Maybe a bit quick on the trigger of that Brimstone ultimate from Timmy. Maybe could have waited a second longer, but look at Tubes in B main will manage to pick up 3 and closes out at least the 3rd round win for Rise on that attacking half at the 9-3 now. Now here's the thing, right? Yesterday in the final upper bracket match that we casted, Rise Blue was in the exact same situation against Punisher's Academy, right? And they brought it back to an 11-13 map, I'm pretty sure. Either 11-13 or 10-13. So Rise Blue managed to bring it back, but they did it on the attacking half. So let's see if Rise Orange can do a similar thing on this defensive half now and bring it back for their organization and show that they can still compete in the series.
Yeah, doing really well there. Scoreline still not in their favor, not even close, but now this defense could definitely put them in a bit of a better spot. We saw Verbal Zero struggle to find any value really in the attacking round, but now seeing them like Killjoy in the defense, that's where Killjoy shines, especially on this map. She's able to control these sites and these choke points. Ooh, Ron's gonna take the early engagement here, but doesn't Hazard with him, and Timmy is forced to back out.
Yeah, interesting smoke there from Timmy, maybe trying to lure the members of Rise into a false sense of security that they won't be pushing there. But now the members of X-Contra are collapsing onto Rise, but they don't have the spike. They have full side control on A as they start pushing aggressive. Timmy with the 4K on the round as the final members of Rise is in this middle area, does get spotted out by the Killjoy turret right now. And it looks like X-Contra are just gonna go through CT spawn and head over to B. Leave Verbal Zero to do his own thing in mid. Not gonna worry about that. What ankle breaking round coming out from X-Contra.
Yeah, doing really well. And Timmy with the ace.
No.
Yep.
Timmy with the backstab and the ace in the pistol round. X-Contra saying, we're not gonna even give you a centimeter to work with here. Not even a little finger. Nothing. So great stuff from X-Contra to bring home that pistol round.
Yeah, I think they struggled a little bit there. We talked about, Verbal finding a little bit of value, and he did. He found kind of a more value, but I think the issue I had there is they kind of forgot that there were people posturing mid, and they kind of we saw the defense sitting in Gardeners holding down that A site, and then just get kind of rolled into from mid without
Alright, well, Lumo going for a cheeky little entry, maybe trying to get up onto that switch little hut with the jet utility, but doesn't manage to succeed. And X-Contra now finally getting side control off the back of that Sky Flash after that devastating entry from the jet. But Yeti, luckily on his game today, will manage to clean it up for his team with a 3K on that anti-eco coming out from X-Contra. And this is X-Contra 1 round away from being on map point here authorized and moving on to their map pick and bind. And we saw how dominant this team was on bind in the previous series.
Yeah, but looking at it as well, Rise, I'm almost guaranteeing, watch that map as well. And I think bind could very much, it might be why they don't want to play threes. They've given up a lot of how they're playing, in that map potentially. So looking forward, it could be now, because Rise have had the opportunity to experience that from the stream point of view. Ooh, Lumo getting tagged really low through that smoke, but they don't know he's here. With that shorty, it could be really detrimental, but nope.
Yeah, Lumo trying to get the jump on those players. They're trying to get some extra value out of that 200 credit pistol, but not going to be able to find anything as Rise just knows and tubes getting it straight through the smoking main as well.
Remaining.
First gun round's going really well for Rise so far. Only Nightmare remaining now, and he can't finish it off as Ronro and Hazard are on this flank already, and that will allow Verbal Zero to defuse and Rise get their first gun round. Very important round for them to win. X-Contra not going to get match point off of that bonus round. So great stuff coming out from Rise.
Yeah, with that Odin now available on Verbal Zero, that's basically the B is a no-go. And you know, X-Contra know that. They know that there's going to be a lot of utility. They know there's going to be an Odin available. They're just not even going to bother. So, as expected, it's a full push A. It's still interesting to see that so much utility is being used on B here from Rise. You definitely wouldn't expect that much, you know you have B kind of locked down with the Killjoy and Odin, and they're still investing a lot of the stars into it.
Yeah, maybe just want to secure that area of the map, but they do leave A completely open. Might want to play for the Killjoy ultimate here, as we are going to be seeing 5v4 retake, as Rise did manage to get one pick on that on the entry to that site. So probably just going to be playing around this lockdown, and now X-Contra have a decision to make. They either need to back out all the way into A main, or they need to push this lockdown as Lumo goes aggressive, but Hex takes him down, and they try and go for the trade. Nightmare is here to watch the flank, will manage to take him down, but the defuse is going to come out now from his counterpart. The other opposing Killjoy just holding for that swing with the Odin, as you mentioned. Verbal Zero going to push him aggressively. Nightmare trying to hold on, but he has the timing. Verbal Zero can defuse it, and now going down to the spike as well. That's detrimental. X-Contra now
Match
on
point.
map point.
That was hard to look at, and it's, I mean, I talked about it during the fight, is they put so much on B that it meant that they had to get the retake, and while they were a man up, I think they kind of pushed slightly too early with the, you know, they didn't wait for the Killjoy ult to be in that make or break stage, and they lost a few too many bodies on point, and then at the end of the day, the post-plant setups from Killjoy are so strong.
You should run. I've got your trail.
Yeah, we will see an early Killjoy ult coming through, locking down that site, and a push onto it.
Unfortunately, Yeti going down to a Molly and Verbal Zero. Even though Killjoy ultimate came out, like, they're still at a man disadvantage now. Timmy at least taking down that run it back.
Spike planted.
And one player did get detained over in that market area as Tubes tries to clear an entry onto the site. Will get taken down by Williams. Back to a 3v3 now. Rise are trying to enter onto this retake. Nice smokes from Timmy, but the Jet will enter the site. Hazard going to try and take these fights, but Timmy completely denies it, and Williams
Attackers
will
win.
mow them down on lane, secure the first map for X-Contra, and after that was Rise's map pick as well. Looking pretty rough for them right now.
Can anybody stop X-Contra? That is the question that's being posed today. As once again, they look so dominant. Even in rounds that they're losing, it just feels like all the team kind of making a Dragon Ball, you know, lend me your power, as one person just manages to wipe the floor. And we see it, and it's, again, it's not just one person, it's one person, but every single person is able to do it. We've seen Timmy do it, we've seen Yeti do it, we've seen Williams do it, we've seen Nightmare do it, we've seen Luma do it. Like, they all just give each other the power. And really good job there from X-Contra. And yeah, so that will be map 1 through for X-Contra. Again, we are in this best of 3 series now, so unlike yesterday, we have the ability now to strategize more than just one map. So we will be moving on to Bind, as we've mentioned, and Rise have had the opportunity to see how ex-Contra play it. So we will be having a short break, and then when we come back, it'll be up to Rise now to answer, as they are down one map.
Yeah, we'll see you guys after the break. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, my bad. We are back, everyone. Just ignore that completely. We're going into Bind now, our next map of this series, which will be X-Contra's map pick. So a lot riding on this for Rise right now. They have to win this map to still compete in this tournament. Otherwise, they are out for good, and X-Contra move on to face off against Exotic Gaming in the next loser bracket round. But Rise, as you said earlier, Authorized, could have potentially watched the previous map that X-Contra, the previous series that X-Contra have played. So Rise could have a bit of an edge going into this map, but X-Contra also potentially could have saved some strategies for this map that Rise aren't aware of just yet.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see now kind of how this does play out, because Rise have kind of seen a little bit of what X-Contra have to answer with. They could possibly play with it, but the same thing. X-Contra could have, played very differently to how they plan to play it. It being the first map, I do find that a little bit unlikely. They weren't exactly sure how Radiant Thieves would have played, so I think they would have, in the beginning at least, played a lot of what they wanted to.
Yeah.
At least with agent selection, we might not see anything different. Talking about agent selection, we do see Verbal Zero on the Cypher. It'll be the first Cypher of the day so far.
Yeah.
I think Cypher does really, really well on Bind, kind of controlling a lot of the flanks, giving a lot of information to his team. So I think, and Verbal, as far as I'm aware, is actually a pretty good Cypher in that regard. It'll be paired with Hazard on that Reyna and Hex back on that Astra. We've seen a lot of Astra today. Just really, really strong in controlling all that, sidelines and chokes.
Yeah.
Sorry,
and
go
that Cypher also very good throwing out those Cypher cages
Select your agent.
and using them to kind of chain off of that Astra utility though. Like Verbal can just throw those cages. Cypher's cages do give you info if your opponents are pushing through them as well. So a very interesting pick. Definitely excited to see that Cypher also has a devastating ultimate revealing all the enemies on the map. So gonna be getting a lot of information from that agent. But as you mentioned, a pretty similar comp coming out from the side of X-Contra here. They're just gonna stick to their tried and true, stick to what they know works on this map. It worked in the previous series. They dominated on Ascent. So they're just going to bring it back this time around. And I guarantee you, we're going to see Yeti just bouncing into sight once again this time around.
The return of Spider-Man Yeti, we hope for. But I think it will be...
I'm going up.
It'll be interesting to see, because last time they played Blind, obviously they had that massive aggression that Radiant Thieves just had no answer for. So it does seem that Rise have a lot more, turnaround capability when it comes to that aggression. So how X-Contra decides to play this now, I think they may look at, just repeating that aggression for a couple rounds, seeing how it goes. They are in the attack, so they have that ability to be super, super aggressive. And that will come down to, and then I think that'll kind of dictate how they play for the rest of this map. It does seem to be an A push now, with a lot of people just looking showers, but with that nice 3-man defense from Rise, it could really work out in their favor. We'll see the Boombox come out early, and Hazard just not going to get caught, which is really, really good for him.
Yeah, the pain shell also coming down, chunking Hazard really low, but won't get taken out just yet. They probably think they forced him out of this cubby now, right? But Hazard's still playing safe back there as Timmy spots him over towards the short area. They will go for the classic Sage Wall shower plant, very safe plant, good on this attacking side, and Yeti gonna peek over this wall, not manage to kill everyone just yet as his teammates do get traded out, and Rise now have a 4-man advantage over X-Contra's 3, and they're just gonna start spraying out this wall, trying to get past this defense set up by Ooh, X-Contra and Yeti
One
peeks out,
enemy
gets
remaining.
one onto Hazard, but gets taken down as Verbal Zero answers back. And Ronro just pushing through the smoke completely, tearing their team apart, and Rise are here and they're ready to play. They don't want the previous map to have any reflection on their gameplay going forward, and they're here to bring this one home.
Brian actually couldn't comprehend what happened there. It's like, it was so wild just to watch so many people in such a little area. Rise luckily coming on top there. I say luckily, but there was a lot of skill and team coordination from their part at just denying it, and they played it really, really well. I think the bomb went down, but they played it nice and slow, and they played it really coordinated, and that allowed them to retake sight. We will see a kind of B push here. Boomba will be used as well as paint shells. I don't know if Ron will get caught out by this. Let's take a little bit of damage.
Yeah, the
Trailblazer
will get the information there, but Yeti just with the jumping right clicks will take him down as Williams also answers with a pick of his own over towards the long area. So now a two-man advantage for X-Contra. Off of a save round here, right? Rise have forced up onto these SMGs. Already 2 weapons lost. And look at the side control from Timmy. He already has full control over this A side, calling in the rotations of his teammates while Yeti stays on that low position. Timmy goes for an aggressive play all alone and unfortunately gets punished by Hex here. But the Sage Wall did go down. So that is at least the plant for X-Contra now. If you can get the plant down on the second round, that's already a lot of economy that you manage to gather up once again after that first round loss. But X-Contra might just be looking to win this one as Tubes with a jumping Spectre shot onto Lumo there will manage to take him down. And now the post-plot utility will come out. Nightmare can't take down Verbal. Tubes pushing through the wall as Yeti manages to pick one up. Will throw out those paint shells to stop that defuse, but oh, they don't have time. They didn't get it off. Oh no! The upset. X-Contra actually win the second round off of a full save.
Yeah, I think you definitely, even though there were 2 men down, Rise had the gun advantage, which means they could play that nice and aggressive stance, but X-Contra doing really well at the post-plant opportunities. They stalled it out long enough so that, Rise just couldn't body them through, and they had to take one by one. And what that meant is, well, they did all end up falling. The bomb just kept ticking away, and at the end, 3 seconds away from that defuse means that they took that win, and that heavily upsets the economy now, as it's going to be quite a broken. I think it's a broken buy coming through. It just makes it that much more difficult. No, it is a save from Rise, so that does put them on the big back foot.
Yeah, Rise only bringing out one singular Spectre here, and Ron Rose gonna get forced out of that position with the classic, and Timmy will take the peek as Yeti gets a second frag with the paint shells as well, but Rise do manage to answer back on the short position, but Nightmare with 2 quick headshots and Williams answering back as well will manage to take it down the remaining 3 members, and X-Contra answering back hard after that first round loss with 2 of their own. But Rise will be able to full buy up here, but I believe X-Contra only lost 1 rifle in that previous match, and they will be able to buy that back up now.
Yeah, it'll be our first full buy from both teams, and Rise do have a little bit of a disadvantage of those 2 light shields, but if they play it well, it shouldn't make that much of a difference. This map already looking a lot closer than we've seen previously. We'll see Boombot and Paint Shells come out, just trying to control this hooker area, as there's quite a lot of pressure being put on B, but Spike is still positioning kind of in that mid area that can go anywhere.
Yeah, it does look like X-Contra wants to go for this B execute. Monroe is still here, gets a good flash, and manages to convert 2 off of that. Great stuff from Ronro, going for the 3rd as well. Now has to take down that Killjoy turret before he gets tagged up too much. And the Seekers are coming out now. They will have full information about where the spike is going, and Hazard already here waiting for this push, but Nightmare,
Placing swamp
taking
grenade.
him down.
Placing
Almost
swamp
getting
grenade.
caught out with his
Placing
util there,
alarm bomb.
Lumo, but manages to get that wall down. And now an extremely aggressive lockdown gonna come out, potentially.
Nah, I think it'll go down if they lose a pick here, I think, or Nightmare's just waiting till they get close enough that gets a lot of value.
It is still a 2v2. I'm curious as to why Nightmare is just
One enemy remaining.
waiting this long. Maybe
he DC?
disconnected. I think so. Potentially. That is very unfortunate for the side of X-Contra. Lumo now in this 1v2 situation gets one. Can't get the second. And Rondo answering back with a 4K. That is... Yeah, it does look like there has been a disconnection. That is extremely unfortunate for the side of X-Contra. I think they're really unhappy after that one.
Yeah, that really, I think the worst possible time for that
my
disconnect
word.
to happen. That hurts quite a lot. I think it made sense that he was sitting there waiting for X-Contra to get nice and close so that they kind of panicked and had to either, fully aggress or turn around. But at the end of the day, it just turned out like he DC'd, which means that it was only one person defending that side. It was close though. Almost getting that spray control, but unfortunately just not able to get that through. So we will even out at 2-2. Still looking good for X-Contra though. But I guess we'll have to wait for the time to finish, to start again. But it does look like X-Contra will have the ability to get a full buy here. Williams back on that Marshall, showing so much proficiency with that weapon. The headshot capability coming through and just, securing all those kills. Whereas Rise, yeah, they will be saving here. Although they won that round, they really don't have any economy because they lost so many people. It was basically just Ron doing anything that round there. So they'll have to get a very eco round coming out here, which will hurt them quite a bit.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Rise to have to save after that round win. But as you mentioned, a lot of players going down, even though that disconnect came through. But good top flash from Ronro will allow his teammate to pick. And that could be a potential weapon upgrade now for Verbal Zero. But the Vandal dropped so far back. So it's going to be extremely risky to pick that up. Maybe just waited for him to get a bit closer. Might have been a bit more advantageous. But for now, it does look like X-Contra are just going to slam the brakes a little while. Maybe throw a bit of util. I'll try and force those rotations. But holding tight now are the members of Rise. Verbal Zero does get flashed, but Ronro with another 4K. That's 2 4Ks back to back now. Can he get the ace? The res did come through, but unfortunately was immediately denied by Ronro. Constantly flashing Verbal Zero. Will get one, and that's an ace for Ronro. Can't get the 6K, but gets the 5. No, he got 5 because of the res.
Oh, because the res. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he's still getting an ace, but not getting the 6K, unfortunately there.
Verbal.
Hey, he had to give Verbal 1 kill after blinding him like 7 times that round, a little bit of a consolation prize.
Yes.
Yeah, Ron doing really well there. I think Ron Sage is definitely I think it's his. Sorry, Sky. They both start with an S, right? Is definitely one of his more proficient heroes, and he definitely shows it with the timing of ability usage. Yeti just looking for anybody to use a showstop on, but no one is available, and it will time out. Dismiss from Hazard there, just gonna get a lot of information.
Yeah, Wolf managed to take down Hex. Hazard just is missing at the perfect time there to get away from that showstopper, but Tubes also picking one alongside Hazard, and now it's a 2v3 for the side of X-Contra. They do already have 2 picks on this, which seems like a bit of a half buy, right? They did go in with a broken buy, but they did get the weapon upgrades now. At least one Vandal in the hands of X-Contra here. They might just try and cut noise and rotate, but there's so much utility on B side. Rise aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, I think with Verbal just sitting back there, he's able to control a lot of space. I think he should start the rotation fairly soon as they identify that
Blinded.
the members are still here. It'll be very interesting to see this 2v2 kind of take place. I think Rise need to just play this nice
30
and slow.
seconds
They have
left.
control of the site. It's all up to X-Contra to push forward and get that bomb plant.
Last
So
player
Rise will have to
standing.
answer that. Ron just
Ronro
on a
with
show today.
another Frag. Ron decided he does not want to
Enemy.
lose a second
One
map
enemy
as well,
remaining.
but Lumo popping off with the double kill there on this A site, will
seconds
get the
left.
heal off onto himself and will manage to get the spike down in a 1v1 now. Sentinel v Sentinel, Verbal versus Lumo. Who will come out on top? The Sage definitely in an advantage here because of the
Oh, that's the
rotation
ultimate.
time, able to take down or to take any position possible. Verbal has this whole site that he has to clear. He does have the ultimate, but the bodies might have just timed out, and Lumo not expecting Verbal to come through. Lamps, great stuff from Verbal. They're throwing down the cage onto the spike, maybe baiting out Lumo a little bit. Very big brain play coming out from Verbal there, and showing why he picked the Cypher on this map.
Yeah, that was a really, really good bait just coming through. And, you know, it's difficult because you have to fall for it. Like, there's not really much of an opportunity to... even if you know that it's a bait, you have to go and check it because the ability to get through that cage gives up so much space that you can't just give it up for free. So, really, really good job at Verbal for identifying that. That will put Rise now 4-2, so they have the lead on this map, which, you know, we expected as Contra to be a little bit more stronger. This is a map pick. They have practiced with it in the previous game that they played against Radiant. So I think that Rise are really, really doing a good job, and they definitely watched the previous map to kind of get a feel of how X-Contra preferred to play this.
Yeah, but X-Contra, that was a save from them, actually, bringing it down to one member remaining for Rise. Definitely gonna hurt Rise's economy there, but Yeti already blast backing onto the back of the site. Ronro not expecting that player to be there so quickly as Timmy gets a frag on A, actually, onto Hazard, and that's an ultimate down now for the Reyna. They do still have 2 ultimates remaining with that Cosmic Divide coming out as well, but honestly, the utility from X-Contra here, just forcing these players all the way back, still not taking out that Cypher cam. That's still a lot of information being gained by Verbal, but will eventually be finished out. And now it's only Tubes. Does have the showstopper, but it's a 1v5. Not gonna decide to go for it this time around. And that will bring X-Contra back to a 3-4 scoreline, and I believe that will force Rise onto a save for this next round. I doubt that they will have the economy to buy back up. We'll see in just a second as X-Contra wrap it up with a flawless round this time around. Great stuff coming out from them. It does look like Rise still have one buy in the bag. Ronro might get a drop from his teammate there. Yes, he does. Gets a drop from Tubes, having saved that weapon from the previous round. But X-Contra now looking to build this economic lead. If they can win this round, they almost guarantee that 6th round of the half, at least guaranteeing an even scoreline for the first half. After Rise looking like they kind of have the number on X-Contra here.
Yeah, it'll be a nice pick there coming through from both Tubes and Hazard, denying that shower, just pressure, and that leaves them at that 2-man advantage, and that is a really nice thing, that now they have all this space and all this ability to control the whole map from, you know, that perfect teamwork in showers. It does seem that A is still the selected target, playing it very, very slow. The Rays will come through, so I think this will give Rise a lot of information on where X-Contra is and will be. So it's up to them now to respond accordingly.
Yeah, fortunate to still have that res available for the side of X-Contra. I don't really know why they're still trying to force this A side when they had so much presence here already. So these players know exactly what to expect. Timmy, the only player going through that teleporter, but Rise now have complete control of that spike.
30
Verbal
seconds left.
might
There's
not
no
be
idea.
expecting Timmy here. Timmy already in the back of the site. Will they spot each other or will they pass in the night? Timmy firing a couple of shots, trying to bait him out, but Verbal will spray him down through the tin can on B. And Verbal definitely gonna feel good after that one. And Rise answering back with the flawless of their own that round.
Yeah, just singing, ringing a rosy with those two, playing a little bit of, you know, mind games with each other. I think it's unfortunate there that the whiff came through and Verbal was able to turn around. But still, like I said, really good job from Rise there. That was a very important round. If they lost that, they were going on to the save. So denying that to ex-Contra is very important, keeping themselves in this lead. While it's not big, a lead is a lead, and they can definitely enjoy feeling that, especially on defense here on this map.
Yeah, definitely a good start from Rise in that previous round with that early sour aggression, but you can see the adaptation from ex-Contra already coming through, sending 3 players over towards